I mean, I like his what he does. I like his questions. I like his episodes. Like, I just don't like his voice.
What do you think he would say about your voice?
He'd probably say it's horrible
Why?
because I sound like I don't know, an asshole.
Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense. That's right, America. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is the lost art of common sense. And in today's episode, we're taking a look back at the COVID-19 pandemic, what the science said, what the conspiracy theorists said, and what all actually happened, as well as what the powers be may have learned about society along the way. Kevin, has the early COVID conspiracy theorists been proven right or wrong? And give a couple examples for our lovely listeners.
Well, I think for the most part, proven right. Obviously, it's been pretty much well documented that it came from, whatever, uh, China, that it came from the lab in Wuhan. So that conspiracy theory was proven right. It was proven that, let's say, I mean, do we want to go into the vaccines as well?
I just
Um,
said a couple examples.
like the vaccine, you could wasn't really a vaccine, that maybe at most it was a therapeutic that you could still catch and transmit COVID. So that's pretty much not what a vaccine does. Uh, I mean, there's so many. The fact that we had to put cancel schools, all that shit, to where uh, you know when it only affected older people, not younger people. We all knew that from the very beginning. Yet the schools still wanted to stay closed. The teachers union wanted to keep the schools closed for, I don't know, power reasons. And there was a bunch of power grabs and all that shit, and everybody was correct on that. The one thing I don't agree, a lot of conspiracy theorists said it wasn't a real thing. Um, I mean, there was that conspiracy theory. Yeah, that one was proved. I think that one's wrong. It was definitely real, but it was definitely man-made.
Was there well, I know it was real because I got it, but
Yeah.
was there was it a conspiracy theory that it wasn't real, or that it was synthetic snake venom dumped into the water supply?
That one too. I forgot all about that one. And I think that one's still being tested.
Can't forget the gems, buddy, because
I'm just saying, because I think that one was I think that one's still being tested. Uh there's a bunch of them that were wrong, obviously, or at least not proven right yet. I mean, I can't say anything's wrong anymore because, I mean, we never get the full truth on anything ever. So it could have been snake venom. That's a lot of fucking venom, though.
not if it's synthetic. Well, I think somebody like so I was watching the video of some doctor who was explaining it, and it's like a lot they kind most conspiracy theorists draw you in with factual shit. Or like at least their
Well, there's
argument makes
always a grain
sense.
of truth in any conspiracy theory, so I think that's what draws you in. And you're like,
Except
oh,
for
that's
flat
cool.
earth. There's no truth in
No,
that.
I mean, except for it's Earth.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's your grain. There's your grain of sand amongst the beach.
Exactly.
But then he got into because it had something to do with like how if hydroxychloroquine is used for stuff like that. Like there's certain, or is it the other horse dewormer? There's one of the drugs that they're trying to keep people
No,
off
it's
of
hydroxychloroquine.
that is used in antivenom. So it was an interesting conspiracy theory. But I do agree with you that I thought it was hilarious when you're sitting there thinking there's so many to choose from.
It really is, though.
But I would say the big thing that I came up with immediately. Now, although when they did the lockdown, I was like, well, hell, if it's that big of a deal, because I don't like
Can
doing what I'm
I
told, for one. Go
can I say
ahead.
something real quick? If you're watching this on YouTube, you know all these are proven right because
Oh,
YouTube
by the way, YouTube, this
banned
isn't an opinion show.
yeah.
We're
So
not
none of this is
scientists.
fact. I mean,
We just happen to be right all the time.
yeah, I'm yeah. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it's because they're now allowing this stuff to be said on YouTube, which means it was pretty much proven correct.
That's right. That's right. Even though they're
It's not misinformation.
even though our monkeypox episode, which was kind of funny, got deleted, which is
Maybe
over
you
on
should try-
Rumble, which you can find by liking, subscribing,
Maybe
sharing,
you should
commenting.
try to reload monkeypox onto YouTube. See what happens. I don't care if we get 3 strikes.
We'll see how
out.
this one goes.
Who cares?
We'll see how this, I don't
Although
care.
every so often we have a video up, gets a lot of views on YouTube.
I know. We finally got a comment after a lot of episodes on. Thank you to the listener who corrected us,
Ed.
Ed. Thanks, Ed. At
For
first, I thought you
correcting
were
our-
agreeing with our opinion. I was like, "Oh, thumbs up," and then you're like, "No, we were wrong.
Yeah, no, we were wrong.
It was a
Jesus.
concurring opinion,
Concurring.
opinion."
Yeah, not ascending.
But that's what I'm saying. If we say something wrong or dumb, point it out in the comments.
I have no
We
problem.
like comments.
Yeah. Even bad ones, I don't even
Yeah,
care.
seriously, I will like all of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to argue probably if you're trying to argue with one of our opinions, but
Yeah, unless you was wrong, then I'll still argue for a while and then be like, hey, thanks for educating me. But yeah, there's plenty of things on that. The one thing that pissed me off the most, because I used the vast decades of experience I have in environmental work to know that the whole face mask thing was bullshit and wasn't going to work. That was probably the biggest thing that annoyed the crap out of me. Although, while we were locked down, I'm like, why don't you just make everyone wear a mask so we can get back to our lives? So, and then as soon as I did, I'm like, masks are stupid.
well, come on, everybody. I mean, it was proven like way before even COVID that masks don't work against viruses because viruses are way too small, and we use respirators for our daily work.
I mean,
And-
obviously, I haven't worn one in a while, but
No, me neither. But we do know a lot about respirators and protection factors, and stuff like that. So we know what a mask, especially a cloth mask,
and microns.
So when you find a mask that can only filter down to 10 microns and the average virus is like 0.2 microns, it's not going to do anything to help you.
Yeah,
I don't know the exact measurements on either of those things, but I'm just saying.
I did the math, and then my measurement to find something that you could, compare it to.
Look it up.
I kind of did the math now. The COVID virus, in my analogy, would actually be smaller, but basically, in our respirators that we use for work, which is the highest particulate filtration you can get, if you were using that to stop COVID, it would be like taking a handful of pinballs and trying to stop them with a chain link fence. Although the size of a pinball is slightly bigger in that analogy than COVID would be.
A virus.
So that's what I came up with.
A virus is 0.002 microns.
Yeah, I mean, I looked it up, and I was like,
It's.
no, this even the P100s would it help possibly? I mean,
I'm saying. I mean, I'll probably
the ball
help
might actually hit the chain part and bounce
once
off.
in a while.
I don't know. That's a big thing we said, and we thought was dumb, and then they went into censorship mode, which. I mean, I don't know. I guess YouTube can delete you on their own. They just can't do it on behest of the
FBI
federal
anymore.
government. Even though they're arguing, saying, well, what if they're sharing misinformation? Hey, you know what? It's every
This is
American's-
fucking America.
Yeah, it's your right to go on and say whatever the hell you want.
What's the difference between that and me listening to, like, if you don't want to listen to me rant, it'd be like you don't, then don't, one, don't listen to me. Two, you don't stop by the crazy guy yelling down the street being like, maybe the aliens are trying to, get into his head, and that's why he's wearing freaking, tinfoil around his head. You don't stop and ask him the serious questions. You walk by him trying not to get stabbed.
Well, that's what I don't understand. It's like, I think, here's the problem. Anytime the government steps in and says they need to do something, it means they feel like we're either too dumb or weak and incapable of taking care of ourselves. They have to censor the information because we're too stupid to figure out what's real and what's not, and especially when you figure out what's real is not.
Well,
what
the
saying.
the problem is if you might find out that the opposite opinion is the real opinion. They can't have that.
I feel like you don't listen to me when I talk because that's.
No, I know exactly what you said, but I just want to reiterate because you said it dumb.
feel like I said it moderately dumb, but not all the way. But
He said it dumb, so I was just trying to, say it right. That the government wants to shut you down because maybe there's a little truth to that. That's conspiracy theory.
Well, let me ask you this then: Has as the pandemic progressed, what were your thoughts on how things were handled as far as treatment and the disease and the dissemination of information and guidance? Like, I mean, we're looking back now, so the progression of how it went. I mean, how do you think it was handled?
I think we just fucked it up all the way through, basically.
Accidentally or on purpose?
I don't know. I don't know how you screw something up so bad and it not be on purpose. I mean,
well, that's why I think everything that Fauci said was kind of tainted when those emails came out when he was discussing that they basically knew it came from a lab right away.
Yeah. And they knew who it affected.
How he flip-flopped like crazy. Like, how in the hell are you supposed to, you gotta listen to what he says when he constantly flip-flops?
And then he's like, no mask, the mask, and no mask. And it's like,
3 masks.
Then 3 masks, yeah.
25 masks.
So.
You can't wear too much masks.
Yes. So, I mean, it was handled poorly. Just look at how the governors, like a lot, like Michigan and New York, they had their sick old people and they just sent them right back to the fucking, the old folks' home, retirement homes and stuff like that. And that was a huge contributor to killing a bunch of old people. And they knew who it affected. They knew for a fact what it affected the older, the older you get, the worse you got it. The younger you were, it was basically a cold. Maybe maybe a fever.
This is going to be kind of random. Has to do with COVID, I think. Was it a kid that had COVID or was recovering COVID, was in like a senior living center and was beating the crap out of some old guy? You remember that video?
I don't know if I ever saw that video.
Yeah, the guy's like, stop. And this kid's like.
Because he had COVID?
You remember that? I think he was in there.
He beat the old guy for having COVID?
No, I think he just beat him up.
Did it have anything to do with COVID?
I think the reason why the kid was in there was for COVID. I don't know if it was like quarantine or something like that, or I don't know. I didn't see it. Yeah, but I kind of agree with your thoughts on that. I mean, treatment. I think we got screwed on treatment because
I think even like hydroxychloroquine. I mean, they
found that out right away
that it helped, and then
right away. I
remember why? Because you could get it for $6, but then then they came out with a new thing that didn't work at all.
You know what my doctor prescribed me when I got COVID?
Dicks?
Hydroxychloroquine. Oh. True story.
Oh.
If it's in the upper lungs, they prescribed you hydroxychloroquine. If you had it lowered down, it was
ivermectin.
Ivermectin.
Which both of them were panned as, fake drugs that didn't help.
Even though the one won a Nobel Peace Prize, but whatever.
Well, the problem is it got so cheap because and the pharmaceutical, a lot of this pandemic was fueled by the pharmaceutical companies. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's the truth. Pharmaceutical companies were not making enough money there at the beginning, so that's why they got rid of hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin, whatever. And
horse dewormer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, remember, it's the horse medicine. Who takes horse medicine? You fucking idiots. It's made for multiple animals. I mean,
but
most
you've never seen a guy strung it out on horse tranquilizers? Come on. Yeah. They go both ways.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's true. So I bought a lot of in case you didn't know, a lot of medicines work cross species. So they use them for a lot of different animals.
Yes, but never give your dog ibuprofen.
No.
It'll shut their kidneys down.
Why would you? Do you know if it has a headache?
I don't know. No,
Usually,
you can give your dog like some type of. I think ibuprofen is one you do not give a dog.
like Advil or
Maybe
something. Right?
Tylenol or something,
Yeah.
but like no ibuprofen whatsoever. Random factoid that may or may not.
I
be
did
true.
not know that, but I don't usually give my dog anything that
And don't ever give your cats
doesn't.
anything.
The vet doesn't prescribe. I wouldn't give any
Don't
animal
ever
anything.
give your cats anything that
I'm not
isn't
just going to try
prescribed
like, all right,
or manufactured by Hearts.
I know this is. I know this. I should probably take this cough medicine, but I usually test it on my animals first.
Oh, yeah.
Hey man, if you don't survive, I ain't taking it. I do
Well,
not do that.
that
By the
makes
way,
sense.
This
But yeah, that was a big thing too. Like, well, if you look at it, we had this pandemic happen. Millions of people died worldwide because it was a real thing and it did kill people. No one's saying, well, there are some people saying it didn't. But we're not saying that. But a lot of people get fucking rich too.
mm-hmm.
A lot of people. So I'm just saying.
Off our tax dollars.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. Did the handling of COVID cause like lasting damage when it comes to the general public's perception as far as when it comes to experts?
Yes, obviously, I think that COVID started the downfall of the distrust of at the level that it's at of the government in general and of
Just governmental institutions.
yes, government and the people they put in place to make these policies. This was the start, or this was the start of that backlash. This is the reason that immediately people think the FBI is garbage. This reason, I mean, there's a lot of reasons to know the FBI is garbage, but this, things like this, things people look into things a little harder than they used to because of COVID. I think, what I'm saying. There's a level of trust they lost, and I mean, it wasn't super high, but it just like plummeted as COVID went on.
Well, and here's what I don't get is like they were saying things during the pandemic that didn't make sense. Like, there's no such thing as settled science. Settled science.
No.
I think I said it right the first time. I don't know why I repeated myself.
Well, what I always liked was when they were wrong. They're like, well, it's science. It keeps changing. But when trying to force shit on you, they're like, you gotta trust the science. Yeah, this is the science. They played it both ways, and people just fucking took that fucking hook and just let it fucking, just fucking hook the shit out of them. It was.
Well, and here's the thing. I don't think there's any such thing as any settled science, because like if you paid now this is all depending on whether or not it's real. But old Dr. Greer was on the Sean Ryan show again, and just like some of the stuff he says that we may or may not have, even the science based on the laws of physics and all that stuff, technically they're based on some of the stuff they say, and this is all up in the air, supposedly will be coming out in our lifetime. There really are no laws of physics. They can be bent, broken, whatever. Oh, by the way, most alien abductions from the 1950s on were on by humans or done by humans. So,
all those anal
Dr.
probes
Greer,
were just.
I was going to say, so I think what happened is there are these guys, they're all, in order to be in the black government, the double dark government, you have to be like a sociopath, a functional socio or psychopath. So they're like, oi, let's go pick that guy up. I'm going to put my thumb up his bum. And I think that's where that came from. But you can learn a lot from your shit, I guess. So
that's true.
That's why sometimes when you're not feeling good, the doctor will be like, hey, shit in this bag, send it back.
I think you can tell if you got prostate cancer through your shit.
There's you can certain types, yeah. So if you don't want to go in and get diddled, you can just take a dump in a bag.
Well, that's the fun part.
I've been eating a lot of beef.
Oh, they're ruining all the fun.
But like, yeah, I mean, that's some interesting stuff, though. We might even have to have another episode on it because I want to have another aliens episode because I've learned some stuff, potential stuff, and I love talking about that shit.
We can talk about aliens anytime. I love talking about aliens.
So we might have another aliens episode. Tell us in the comments below if you'd like to have another alien episode. See? Yeah.
You should watch our other aliens episode.
Yeah, that one's funny because I fucked with Kevin's face.
Yeah.
Not, fucked with.
Yeah.
Not, yeah.
No, they get it. You said it correctly. You don't have to
Don't go chopping up my words. No, but I think I think that'd be another one. We should have another one. So comment below, like, subscribe, comment below that if you want us to have another alien episode, we'll do it anyway. Because sometimes we get tired of talking about this bullshit that's called real
life.
Our perceived reality. Let's say, because we don't know, the alien stuff could be true, so you don't know.
Man, but they fucking on with our reality, or
no? But like so your perceived reality is you're Kevin. You live in your house. You go to work. Blah 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 blah. As far as you know, monkeys do not fly out of people's asses. But in an alternate dimension,
wouldn't that
might happen.
Wouldn't that suck?
Hold on, I gotta go drop a monkey off at the pool.
That'd be a fucking horrible...
If you don't catch them while they're flying out, they just reach out.
That'd be a horrible reality. Like every time, like just like a monkey ripping your asshole apart. You don't want that. No one wants that.
You wouldn't have an evolutionary adaptation to that.
What, like maybe people in that dimension? What, like a snake jaw where your asshole just like opens up and people like in that monkey dimension, just like comes out like.
People in that dimension have giant buttholes. I'm just saying.
No butt,
so,
hole.
Yeah, let's wrangle this back in. Back to COVID. Do you think some of the leaders took advantage of the situation? And if you were a person in power or wanting to gain power and authority over, the people, what would you take away from the actions and reactions we saw during the pandemic? So, like, if you were either a wannabe dictator or dictator, someone named Gretchen Wilson, or
Gavin Newsom.
What would you learn? Because I kind of bring it up a little bit later. Maybe
all right, this is what I learned. That what I suspected beforehand, but learned pretty much by proof, was Democrats just want to be dictators.
No, that's not what I asked. What did you learn from the reaction of the people?
Sorry.
During the pandemic.
Sorry, I've learned so much.
Dictator's gonna dictate. You know what I'm saying?
That people just follow anything. No matter how oppressive it is, if somebody tells them it's for the betterment of humanity or the people, even though every instinct can tell you, no, this is just a gain of power, people will still, just follow in line because people don't actually have minds of their own. Some people need to be controlled. Some people need to be told what to do. Some people have no free will. They're a bunch of, I don't know what you call them, like just wusses. They're a bunch of wusses. What they are, I don't know. How do you live that way? How do you live a way to where you automatically want to follow somebody that you have no trust, that you have very little trust in?
Well, it's just like that. Well, but did you see like some of these TikTok videos of these moms and, I can't wait till the government says I can go jab my kid with this experimental vaccine. It's going to be great.
Yeah. It's sad. It's disheartening to learn that a free country, a country supposedly for the people, by the people, is basically being run by a small cabal of people.
The reason why I think things went the way they did, and like a lot of people were surprised. Like there are a lot of people, because you've heard people from other countries say, "Oh yeah, Americans aren't going to put up with this," because whatever. The reason, I think one of the biggest reasons why people are so submissive to the government and what they say, and like, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, now you got to do this," is because people literally have no idea what civics are. Like they have no idea what our rights are, what being an American citizen is supposed to be or supposed to mean. Either that, or we've gotten so damn so comfortable that people are afraid to question the status quo because most of the time in America, real change happens slow because it has to. It, like people look at whether it be crime, whether it be all this trans ideology bullshit. It like they're like, oh, that sucks to be them, but that's happening over there. Or that guy got robbed over on the other side of town, or whatever. Until it directly affects them, then people, I mean, it takes a long time for them to come up. But I think if people were really taught, these are your rights as a U.S. citizen, this is how this government works. I think a lot more people go, you can't tell me that.
I think this is what, I mean, it's the same thing with guns.
Yeah.
Let's be real. People who don't want guns taken away don't realize the repercussions of what would happen because they don't know the civics. They don't know what your constitutional rights are. They don't know the Second Amendment is probably the most important amendment because it backs the rest of them. I mean, it's the reason the rest of them work because...
Well, the people that think that trust wholeheartedly that the government gives a shit about them, and they don't.
They don't. And it's proven time and time again. The government cares about itself and making themselves rich. The government is about every so often. I mean, there are actual congressmen and women who actually do care about their constituents. It's few and far between anymore. But, I mean, I would say at least maybe 20% do. The rest of them are just mostly about themselves.
Yeah, there's a certain... Well, and like politics has gotten so dirty that upstanding person that actually wants to do good things because nobody's perfect. Everybody's got skeletons in their closet or did something stupid when they're younger or whatever.
Shit, I still do stupid things.
Oh, yeah. It's because we haven't grown up yet, Kevin. But like the good people that could do a good job don't run. Or people like Chicago, who apparently are stupid and deserve everything they get, replace Lightfoot with an even more progressive mayor. I mean, at some point, like, I think the guy that, who the hell was I listening to? I don't remember, but he was saying back when he was a kid, some mayor in New York City lost, and he basically said, you get what you deserve because they elected a progressive mayor. So it's
yeah, I think that's probably before Giuliani when they had all the crime and there was
it was a person
sex
who
shows
was
in the fucking New York or the
it was
Times
before
Square.
Giuliani and it was before the person that ran the city into shit.
So no, it was Giuliani then Bloomberg.
No, I'm
Bloomberg
talking about this is pre Giuliani.
Oh,
but it was like whoever this guy lost to is what I think led up to the crime stuff. And there at this point, because all the people that would vote for a mayor or a governor or whatever in these blue states that are going to shit, that would vote for people that would actually fix it are leaving. And for whatever reason, these people can't wait the fuck up and stop voting. They're basically, I think, voting for a living. Like, they're like, well, I'm going to vote for this person because they're going to give me free shit or, what the fuck ever. I don't know why the hell it takes so long for people to figure out.
Where they have guilt for some reason? I mean,
I don't know. Like the city is either that or somehow it doesn't directly affect them. And once it starts affecting them, if people got money, then they move, which then people bitch about. Well, that's unequitable because this person can afford to move and that person can't. So now we just can't let anybody move.
Can't let anybody have a good time.
And I'm
everybody's got to be in a
shit.
shithole.
I am so tired. Was it diversity, equity, and what's the last one?
Who knows?
I don't know, some corporate bullshit words. I'm tired of all of those. For one thing,
synergy?
No. Let's put it this way: anytime somebody brings up the word equity, unless you're at the bottom, they are going to lower your level of living. But that's not the right word.
They're going to
What is it?
I don't know, man. They're going to lower your... I don't know. Well, what you're not going to do is get the best person for a job.
No, everybody gets... And during equity means equal outcome. So the only way you get an equal outcome is to lower everybody down to the laziest piece of shit on the chain.
Yes.
Period.
It's a bell curve, only it's like a U curve.
Upside down. It's a
It's a
bell
U curve.
bowl.
It's a
It's a
U
bell
curve.
bowl. I like bell bowl curve.
Bilbo curve.
Bell bowl. Bell bowl curve.
No, because you can't have a bell ball.
Bell bowl.
Why not just a bowl?
Look, if you took a bell,
Why is it got to be a
upside
bell
down,
then?
I'm just saying, because if you took a bell, flipped it upside down, you could put cereal milk in it and eat it. Like
Except
it's
for the
a
dingy
bowl.
thing. The dingy thing's going to get in your way.
No, it won't. It might flop around in your bowl and splash cereal on the ground, but you can still eat out of it, which makes it a bell bowl curve. And the only problem is at the bottom of that bowl is a pile of shit.
Oh, you definitely don't want to eat cereal.
I didn't say your cereal bell bowl. I'm talking metaphorical bell bowl.
Well, if they do it a lot, it is.
Societal bell bowls are full of poop.
Well, if they do it constantly, then it is a cereal bell
I'm just
bowl.
saying, anybody who's talking about equity are not doing anyone who is productive and takes care of themselves any favors, period.
No, what you're doing is you're lowering yourself to the worst person imaginable. Like
Which just happens to also be a socialist
exactly
term.
exactly what you said, the laziest piece of shit possible.
Anytime somebody starts using socialist term, there is no nice way of using it. So
no, garbage.
Just remember that.
Hot garbage.
But yeah, so I think that's what I would have learned though, is like the society is a hell of a lot more softer than people thought, and he's more easily controlled. Even though I was told to put a mask on a couple times, I was like, yeah, you have a good day. And I just kept on walking, Kevin. Just kept on walking.
I remember working in a couple
of
places.
But at TJ Maxx, they follow you. They do not fuck around. They're like, no, sir, you're going to put a mask on or you're going to leave. So then I put a mask on and I pulled it down to my chin.
It was so dumb. I was like...
Yeah, but so with all these protocols, though, do you think similar protocols will be used moving forward to handle other emergencies like...
Absolutely.
I don't know, the climate crisis, for example?
Yes, for sure. Any kind of crisis. They're going to put crisis behind something, and all of a sudden you're going to have to get locked down to your house. It's going to be a, I don't know, whatever, climate crisis. It's going to be a, who knows, I don't know, there's all kinds of crises. Everything can be a crisis anymore. I mean, is climate crisis really a crisis? Let's be real about it. Even if global warming is actually happening at the rate they're happening, they say it's happening, which it's not, and I don't believe it is. The Earth actually has the least amount of carbon dioxide in the ozone that's ever had since in the last 8,000 years, but it's just slightly upticked in the last 100. So basically, what they're telling you is garbage. They just use a small amount when they show you a little data thing, and they don't show you a larger picture. So that's my little climate change thing. But yeah, any crisis, they're going to do lockdowns. They're going to try to control you. I don't think they're going to do masks for everything. Probably next cold season, maybe. I don't fucking know.
You never know. They might say you have to wear masks to try to have us all walking around with fucking carbon dioxide scrubbers.
That is true.
On our face.
I mean, you don't know what the crisis is. I mean, of course we want to try to whatever they can do.
And methane filters in our underwear to filter out our farts.
I can probably. I'll probably say that's next,
Everybody talks about cows, but there's like 8 billion farters on this planet.
Gas stoves, they're trying to get rid of gas stoves. They're trying to get rid of fucking wood fire ovens or pizza ovens. And next will be your farts.
Yep. You'll be wearing thick charcoal lined underwear.
Welcome to Depends. The Big Depends is going to be the backer of this whole... Big Diaper is going to be the backer of this.
And, here's the thing where I think it's all full of shit because all these people talking about climate change. I'm not saying the climate's not changing and we could always have cleaner air, water, and all that shit. Just the way they're doing it, like batteries technology is not the way because you have to strip mine the earth. The batteries are toxic. They're hard to get rid of. If you believe that you're saving the planet by buying an electric car, you're a fucking idiot. But when you have the same people trying to switch everyone over to electric everything while simultaneously weakening the grid by replacing with unreliable sources of energy, they are not telling you the truth or have no fucking idea what they're doing. And they should not be
it's
listened
probably a
to.
little column A, a little column B, you know. But like, I mean, let's be real. Any dictator or any kind of wannabe dictator or wannabe group that wants to be a controlling group, not like controlling like, hey, president and stuff like that, but want to have a full dictatorship over the people is obviously going to try things like this. They're going to try to see how willing their people will follow, their commands, no matter how dumb they are. And we have proven at least 50% of this country is willing to follow dumbass commands.
Well, that's true. I mean, well, that's what the left or and I don't know if this is an ongoing experiment like that Russian dude said, where it's not Russia, but somebody's implementing, probably globalists, this bullshit on the planet or on the country, saying that we have to. Kevin threw me out by holding up the I have to pee sign, but yeah. Well, you know what? Since he shut my brain off with the I have to pee sign, it's time for a drain your dingle break.
Drain your dingle, everybody. Hashtag drain your dingle.
We're back, and I forgot what the hell I was talking about, so we're just going to move on to the next question.
Sorry about that. I really had to pee.
Are you, though, Kevin? Are you? I'm pretty sure it was a save the world kind of response, but it's fine.
Yeah, but who cares?
Looking back.
What's going to be funny is that's going to be the answer that probably would have saved the world, and I ruined it.
You did. That's what you do. You ruin things. Everything. Looking back, what have you learned, and where do you think we're going from here as a society? Possibly, I guess it's a global issue, so possibly even as, the world going, like the world's societal norms. Like, where do you think we're going from here?
Well, I think what I've learned is if a one world government were to rise up, that people would just follow it.
I bet they would. I think I agree with you with that.
I think that's what I've learned mostly is people will follow anything if they think it's for if it's for the greater good. The great, Nazi saying.
Are they still? I would say probably within the last month, maybe a little farther back. I swear I've still caught a vaccine, either billboard or radio commercial.
I've heard commercials.
That shit.
I've heard commercials about the new boosters and shit.
Yeah, we didn't have before the vaccine, and this is total anecdotal. I'm not saying anything. I just know that before the vaccines, we didn't have SADS.
We didn't have
What does SADS mean, Kevin?
Sudden adult death syndrome.
Exactly.
We did not have that.
Never heard. That's another new term that came out of the pandemic. I'm not sure what's causing it. I'm just saying.
There's a thing in England, or an English study and peer reviewed and everything, that I think myocarditis in children from 15 to 20 years old has risen by almost 1,000%.
Here's what I know. If you're a parent,
since 2021 or 2020,
I feel sorry for the kids, but if you're a parent and went out and got your child vaccinated with an experimental vaccine for a pandemic that was proven extremely early does not affect children unless you're part of the ever rising percentage of people who have obese children, which means also you're a bad parent.
I don't even think it really
you're a bad parent.
Children. It had to do with children with autoimmune disease.
I'm just saying, like with adults, it seemed like the heavier. If you're
I think yes.
Generally, if you're overweight as an adult, I think diabetes was a
major factor. Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, deadly. But in children, I don't think it affected them any different. Obese children, probably a little bit, but I don't think like a significant amount. It was more like the autoimmune disease children, children with pre-existing conditions, not obesity, but like actual pre-existing conditions.
Something like that I can kind of see, I guess, because it's not like I was ever anti-vax against it. I saw the numbers and I saw who was at risk and who wasn't. And I've had, I mean, I don't know how you test your immune system. I guess you can go get it checked, but I hardly ever get sick. So I'm like, all right, well, if I get it, I don't think I'm going to die from it. So what's the point of taking an experimental vaccine? I don't even get the flu shot.
I can tell you what I've also learned from all this is that, and from like this whole trans thing, is people will do anything to their children to make it look like they're more progressive.
Or just like they're using it to make themselves like feel better about themselves or popular. Because I think we're kind of getting into the realm now where parents are these. I guess it's I don't know if it's I guess it's millennials, but it's like all these people. I guess it's a social media thing. Like they want to be popular on social media, so they think it's cool to. Oh, I have a transgender child. I have a transgender child. Whatever. They're bad parents.
Do you think that social media has made parents sociopathic?
A little bit.
That they care about themselves more
Ooh,
than,
that's a good topic for an episode.
because I think they care about themselves more than their kids. Like it used to be, you would sacrifice yourself no matter what, take a bullet for your child, whatever, all that stuff, do whatever you could to protect your children. And now it's about doing stuff to your children to make yourself look more popular.
That or if like your kid falls and fucks something up, it's like they got to get the phone first to get it videotaped to get sympathy before they actually render aid.
Yeah.
Like
If your kid gets hurt and the first thing you want to do is film it, you're a piece of shit.
well, and there's a video going around of these dipshits, probably TikTokers, that looks like they're going around cleaning up the beach. And then when they're all said and done, the bags that they put stuff in, they just leave it on the beach and walk off because most of the shit you see on the internet is staged bullshit, which kind of pisses me off because you ever seen those animal rescue videos? For one thing, they spend way too much time filming the animal in distress before they render aid.
Right?
I don't even know why you're filming in the first place. And then it kind of got me thinking, are these assholes putting the animal in that situation so they can film this shit?
Sometimes I think, yes, they do.
I mean, I think social media has literally brought out the worst in people.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody's doing stuff for some reason. People care more about likes, and remember to like, subscribe, and comment, than actually helping out people.
That's just so we can grow the show and quit our jobs.
Yes. Yes. Also a selfish reason, but we're doing it for you. But yeah, no, it's all about that rush, that little sensation you get when you get a like or something, It's that feeling that, you feel worthless. So that little like, that makes you feel less worthless for a second. And
So, yeah,
what
I've
it
never had
is,
that
it's like
problem.
like a dopamine thing. So it's actually an addiction.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. And
Yeah.
the algorithms are like programmed to
Yeah.
like
So
do that. Like Instagram got in trouble for it.
yeah, it's a dopamine thing. I mean, it's an actual addiction that people are addicted to doing things. I mean, there's people like filming murders and rapes and filming it live and putting it on like Facebook, which somehow that shit gets through.
Well, here's the thing about
But
that
yet
though.
we're shadow banned.
Oh yeah, this show was amazing. We were definitely Shadow Man. Here's the thing about people filming stuff that's happening, crimes and stuff. It's fucked up, and people are just losers, and nobody's willing to help anymore. And granted, every day goes by.
But they're doing it to be internet famous.
Well, and here's the thing, though. Look at like the way that at least these Soros-backed DAs, they don't prosecute the criminals; they prosecute the people that are defending themselves. So it's like, well, okay, now granted, these people are not doing this. I'm going to film this so I have evidence for the police. They're filming it so they can put it on YouTube or Facebook or whatever and get likes. But it's like if you do anything, it's like the guy in New York, Perry or Pierre, the guy in the subway.
Yeah.
He's getting charged with murder. And it's like, and the guy in the convenience store where the guy came behind the counter and attacked him, so the owner grabbed a knife and stabbed him, he got charged with murder.
Yeah, he got eventually dropped, that one got dropped because so many people were like, "This is obvious. This isn't even close to obvious." But the fact they even tried to charge him with murder is just reprehensible. I mean,
Oh, and by the way, the Faulkner, she's on Fox News. She's also part of
I don't
Outnumbered.
watch Fox News.
I listen to her during the day because I can only take so much Patriot for a while, so I break it up a bit. But she actually said something about George Soros backed DA. So apparently, she was the one that I forgot who it was. Some Republican dude brought up George Soros. She's like, "Oh, we don't need to bring him up. We don't need to mention his name." Like, it was awkward, not only for everyone watching, but the guest she was talking to. And then apparently, whatever thing that was keeping her from saying the name who shall not be said has been lifted because she brought it up today. So I just
Did you
figured
know
I'd bring
that?
that up.
Well, he just because he retired and he gave it to his son.
Oh, maybe that's why. His son looks like a little prick too.
Well, his son's like even worse than he is, I guess.
Yeah.
But did you know that 20% of Fox is owned by BlackRock?
No, but it makes sense, and that's probably why Tucker Carlson got fired.
That's exactly why I got fired.
BlackRock owns everything, which is why if you give a shit about all this stuff coming to an end, you need to talk, and you have a 401k, you need to talk to the person who's taking care of that and have all your money taken out of anything that has to do with BlackRock.
You want to ask me the last question so we can get to general discussion?
I do, Kevin. Do you care if YouTube deletes this episode?
No.
I don't.
I'd rather none of you watch us on YouTube. I'd rather you all watch us on Rumble. Obviously, sometimes we have a massive spike on YouTube for some reason.
Yeah, I don't even understand why. I'm not saying the last episode wasn't awesome, but for some odd reason, we're getting a lot of views on it. So a lot of views for us.
For us. Not a lot of views for this general YouTube, but
yeah, like a lot of YouTubers, like if they got our views, they would quit and burn all their shit.
Oh yeah, no one is as persistent as we are to entertain a small audience.
Exactly. That's why every single one of you watching this episode,
especially if you made
or
it this
listening
far,
and not commenting or giving us 5-star reviews on the podcast platforms, even though we feel like that's not hard to do, we still appreciate you.
I feel
and that's
like
why we're not going anywhere.
I also feel like if you're going to watch us, also listen to us on your car rides. Have us with you 24/7. No matter what you're doing, make sure one of our voices is constantly in your ear.
I don't think that's too.
That's not too much to ask.
We're like your drunk conscience.
Hey, some people listen to whales and stuff to go to sleep, and like thunderstorm sounds. You could listen to me and Josh, and that could be your lullaby to sleep. Hey. We're your white noise.
I've been told I have a nice voice.
Not because we're white, and we're very noisy sometimes. But we could be your white noise.
There you go. All right, general discussion, Kevin. You got anything you want to talk about?
Yes, I have a few things I want to talk about.
Ooh.
So Ray Epps is suing Fox and Tucker Carlson. I guess he's actually being investigated by the DOJ. And, so he's basically saying, is it defamation of character or whatever? So basically what I'm thinking, and this is a conspiracy theory, is that Ray Epps, like the DOJ, didn't file anything against them until they found out it was very inconvenient for them not to do it. So now there's a whole fake DOJ investigation because everybody else the DOJ investigated during January 6th was immediately arrested and has not had it was a insurrection. So they didn't have a, what do you call that? The fair and speedy trial, or
it's some jurisprudence, or that could be jurisprudence.
Well, you're not supposed to they can't be. They were arrested without bail, without even.
Yeah, well, there's constitutional rights, which means that you have to be charged and you have a right to a speedy trial. But if you're labeled as an insurrectionist, i.e., terrorist, or an enemy of the state, that does not apply.
So I think this whole DOJ investigation into Ray Epps is just a big smokescreen because
Well,
I
what the
don't
hell
think.
is he suing Fox for? They literally have him, everybody has him on tape saying, we're going into the Capitol.
Well, they're saying he was a FBI agent or worked with the FBI, which I mean he could easily be a CI for the FBI, and you know,
That's confidential. That's 2 letters, and it means confidential informant.
yes. So he could have been a CI for the FBI and not actually
You
on the
obviously
books.
haven't heard Kamala Harris's explanation of AI.
I haven't.
She's like, AI is 2 letters, artificial intelligence.
No, she did not.
Yes. That's why I said that.
God, she is the dumbest person.
She's either stupid as shit or she thinks everyone else is stupid as shit because she talks to people like they're 5.
Yeah, she's talking. Yeah, exactly.
I was like,
a
it's
toddler.
mechanical learning.
Like yeah, she's the worst. She is absolutely.
And transportation gets you from point A to point B.
Like no matter how bad Biden gets, there's no way they're going to let her run because there's no way she can win.
I don't understand.
We could put a rock against Kamala Harris. I'm pretty sure a rock would win against Kamala Harris.
Also, well, they're thinking the other backup is Gavin Newsom. How the hell does that work?
I bet you could put a rock. I bet it would win because Americans, love, just stupid shit and would vote for the rock just because.
Probably.
No matter what. But,
pretty sure there's a town in the United States that's mayor is a dog.
So basically, I just wanted to say the CI thing was garbage, or this DOJ investigation, this whole Ray Epps defamation suit is garbage.
He has to be a CI because he's the only person. Well, there's probably maybe others, but he's the only person disseminated throughout major news outlets saying that trying to get people riled up to go into the Capitol the day before it happened, and he's like the only. Now, granted, he didn't go into the Capitol, but he's caught on tape trying to.
He was the one
persuade people to do it
the night before and the day of, saying we should go into the Capitol.
And he was also happened to be the last person to talk to the kid who initially stormed the gate. So there is no reason whatsoever why that dude shouldn't have been arrested along with all the other dumbasses that went into the Capitol.
Exactly. And so I just don't. So I think this is a big ploy by the left or whatever, the DOJ or the FBI or whoever, to be like, hey, yeah, so yeah, there's no way he could have been an informant because, we're investigating him. Then, absolutely nothing will happen.
Well, and that's the problem with even nobody believes. I don't think necessarily anybody on either side believes what the government says because it doesn't matter what they say. Like because we've been gaslighted like crazy since COVID started, probably before that. But it's been so obvious that nobody believes anything the government says anymore. Yeah. Other than dumbasses.
I mean, you started with Bush with the fucking weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, technically that was good. They knew.
Yeah, they knew there wasn't anything there.
Oh, no, they moved them to Syria.
Yeah, really.
Oh, so technically when we found that out, shouldn't we have just pulled out then?
Yeah. Also, the investigation with Hunter Biden, with the cocaine in the White House.
I still contest it was Mitch McConnell's.
They can't prove who it was. The most secure place in the goddamn world with the most video surveillance can't figure out who put cocaine in a cubbyhole. They can't figure out the last person to put something in a cubbyhole.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, so
they don't have a camera right on that fucking cubbyhole?
They might not, but let's say they don't. I'm not Matlock, even though that was a lawyer, not so necessarily a detective.
No.
I couldn't think of a famous detective off the top of my head. But
Sherlock Holmes?
I'm no Sherlock Holmes. But if they actually gave a shit about a bag of cocaine found in the White House, I'm assuming they have a pretty good forensic lab. And if they couldn't pull anything off of the baggie,
yeah,
common sense tells me, look for the only guy on camera wearing gloves.
Right?
Boom.
Like, who wears gloves in the middle of fucking summer in the White House?
Exactly.
And there was
Which
also
means they're fucking lying.
which at the initial report said it was found somewhere else, which was actually in the residential area of the White House.
Well, it's just another example that
The most secure area of the White House. It was found there, but then they moved. Then they changed it. They changed it. Say it was in a cubby or whatever where people put their cell
It was
phones.
a cubby next to the Situation Room, though. That's not a. You can't get there unless you're family or a high-ranking official.
It wasn't even. But the initial report was it was found in the residential area of the house.
Well, yeah, and then it was the library, and then I don't know.
Where was it found?
It was in the cubby.
Supposedly. Are we sure? Was there a video?
That was the last thing said.
So, yeah, but how am I supposed to believe things anymore?
I just don't understand how anybody who works in that building, just because I know that if you have clearance, your fingerprints are on file. So anybody's fingerprints that are on that baggie can be pulled up.
I feel like a plastic bag is a pretty good surface area to get a fingerprint.
Yes, that's why I think it's all bullshit. Because, like, all right, well, if you couldn't find any fingerprints to identify the person, then obviously it was the butler in the third room wearing the gloves.
Well, it's either going to be an aide or Hunter.
Or Mitch McConnell.
No, they'd fucking bury Mitch McConnell if it was his.
Never know.
No, he's a rhino.
You don't think you've been watching that long. Oh, Cocaine Mitch doesn't have shit on people.
He's a rhino.
Come on.
So maybe. I don't know.
I'll feed you to the hogs.
Those were the two things.
Do you ever feel that some of our references are too old for some of our younger listeners? I don't care either. There's another thing that came up. I forgot what it was. Oh, what are your thoughts on so Zelensky, who, and I still to this day say anybody who supports sending military aid, i.e. prolonging the war between Ukraine and Russia and not looking for a peace treaty is getting money off it. Like, if you support the war in Ukraine and actually prolonging it, then I think they're making money off it. But Zelensky started getting a little uppity because he gets whatever he wants, probably because Biden's been compromised by the Ukrainians, Chinese, and all that shit, which is actually an ongoing investigation. But this dude comes out all pissy. It's in the UN charter or NATO charter that you cannot join NATO while you're in a conflict. Period. You can't do it. He's like, oh, why can't I join? I want to join. You want to play a song with my wiener? I will do this. Where's the piano? I got the wiener. I'll just ding, ding. I can't play chopsticks because I only have one. You can't play chopsticks with just one wiener. Where is my partner? Where's
his partner at? You think he's dead?
Where's my wiener chopsticks partner? Get over here. I play you chopstick wieners, and you make me in NATO's.
Yeah, his partner's probably dead.
I don't even think he talks like that. I don't even know what that was.
Who knows? I don't know what the hell he talks like. I don't
like him.
I don't care. I've listened to him like twice.
I don't like him. I'm tired of hearing about it. I don't give a shit.
I'm tired of this war. I think this war should have been done a while ago. And I don't think it's that hard to actually end. If this country actually wanted to end this war and actually wanted to bring diplomacy between the two countries, they could. We're not doing shit. What we're doing is giving them cluster bombs, which are very... I mean, it's a cluster bomb. So basically, it pretty much kills...
It's kind of like the missile from Iron Man.
Yeah, except for it's not accurate. It kills whoever's around it. It doesn't matter civilian or military.
Well, no, it's a big bomb that blows up smaller bombs. It blows out small bombs and they explode. I don't care. I'm tired of hearing about it because the longer this war goes on, the less of a threat Russia is. Other than their nukes. They do technically, Russia has detonated the largest atomic bomb.
Yeah, the SARS bomb.
Yes. Which every time you detonate a nuclear bomb, it pisses off the aliens. So, just saying.
Let's really piss them off.
That's why I've learned so much more about aliens. The next alien episode is going to be wonderful.
We could really piss them off with if we go into fucking nuclear war.
But that's just it. Like, for one thing, only someone with water on their brain would think a nuclear war is a good idea. But conventional war, Russia's a joke. They should have steamrolled Ukraine. I'm not for Russia. I'm just saying, common sense wise, if they had this big scary, because that's what Crenshaw was saying, we just can't let Putin go around and do whatever he wants to do.
Well, he can't do it whatever he wants anyways.
Yeah,
He doesn't have
apparently
shit
he
to do.
wanted to take over Ukraine, and a year and a half later, he still hasn't done it.
Yeah, what I don't get is, that's what I'm saying, is I don't think it'd be that hard to make a diplomatic fucking treaty. I really don't.
I thought we learned that they could have done that within like a month of it starting.
We could have, but you know
I
why?
guarantee you the UN talk is going to re-harden. I don't know about Russians.
You know how much money the
too.
military makes for fucking certain people in power?
A lot.
And that's why we're not doing shit. You know why we're sending fucking a bunch of fucking shit to them? Because
they're
making
blackmailing
people money.
Biden. Blackmailing Biden.
Black man Biden.
Blackmailing.
You said black man.
I don't know what I said. I think I slurred the first part. That's why I said it twice.
But
apparently, when alcohol touches my tongue, it's like a sponge and it expands.
Maybe.
Makes it hard to talk.
There's
a lot of shit that came out this week.
I don't know. I'm tired of Ukraine. Tired of fucking Russia.
I'm just tired of it. I mean, it
stop
has
sending
nothing.
them shit.
I don't give
Let
a shit what anybody
with
says.
God themselves.
Ukraine has
money.
nothing to do with our national security at all.
Nope.
Nothing.
I can tell you
they
what.
Sit there and preach about borders while they just let our borders open.
I'm
If
tired
they gave
of
a
it
shit
all.
about like, oh, you got to take this vax to save you from COVID, but we're going to let hundreds of thousands of people die every year from fentanyl overdoses because apparently it's kids can't get it. The younger people can't get it through their heads. Don't do drugs because it's probably laced with fentanyl.
I think our new military budget has a provision for Ukraine on it.
Yeah, fucking.
How does our military budget fucking have a provision for another country's war?
I don't know. That's why it doesn't matter if NATO's in it or not. I just don't think NATO's going to let a country join that's going to automatically put NATO into war. That's why, when Trump was pushing all these NATO countries to pay their fair share, i.e. 2% of the GDP, let's see how many of these socialist programs that, oh, well, they have this, they have that. Well, they don't pay for their defense either. So, I don't know. And we really do need to do our episode on China because there's a lot of stuff about China I don't think a lot of people know. Are they our current most dangerous adversary? Yes. Are they as dangerous as people say? I say no.
No.
So, but I think that wraps this episode up, Kevin. What do you think?
I think so as well.
Well, all right. With that said, until next time, I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this was The Lost Art of Common Sense.
Common sense!
Common sense!
Common sense!
We'll see you next week, everybody.
I gotta pee again. Woo!